Hi, and welcome back to Apple Cottage. This is Sandy. Well, it's Thursday morning, gardening together, and on Tuesday I talked about a very popular vegetable, which I call the staple of American life, the potato. So today, Thursday morning, I thought we would just go way on the other spectrum and talk about a vegetable that's not very popular. Why, I don't know, because it is a great tasting, versatile vegetable. But you don't see a lot of them at farmers markets, you don't see them in the grocery store. And in fact, I went to the grocery stores today trying to find one because all of mine are down in the freezer and they were none to be found. We're talking about kohlrabi. Now kohlrabi, for history, the farthest back I could find any information was in the Roman Empire about 800 AD. Then I didn't find anything again until 1554 when a European botanist wrote about it. And then it became very popular in Europe. People were growing kohlrabis all over the place. So I thought, that's interesting. I didn't find anything in the United States until 1806. But I have to say poppycock on that. Because who was coming over and settling in America but Europeans? And it was a very popular vegetable. So I truly believe that they had kohlrabis in the United States way before then. But let's grab our cup of tea and let's get started talking about kohlrabis. Now, you know that I always like facts about my vegetables. So, kohlrabis, they're very, very high in vitamin A, vitamin C, K, and all the Bs. It's very antioxidant. It has copper, it has manganese in it, iron, potassium. It boosts energy, lowers blood sugars, and it is just really an all-around great vegetable. Now, because I couldn't find any photographs, I'm going to post some photographs of me and my dad when I convinced him that he should grow kohlrabis, and he's been growing them since then. And those two pictures are out of his garden over in the Black Hills. He had some raised beds, and so we grew some kohlrabis. And I had him grow great whites. They are a huge, fantastic kohlrabi. And the interesting thing about kohlrabis is it doesn't matter that when they get really large, they never get woody. You know, some vegetables, when they get overgrown, they get woody and then you can't even hardly eat them. You might as well feed them to your cattle or give them to your chickens. But they're fantastic. And then I took some photographs out of my Baker Seed catalog, because everybody knows that's my favorite catalog. And so I'm going to show you a couple pictures. But I did take photos, and I'll insert them too so that you can read the description on them. Now see this one with the little girl? That is a great white. That's the one I grow. It is just so fantastic. But if you don't want them that big, here's a couple over here. Now the nice thing about kohlrabi seeds, a packet may cost you $2.50. You have all kinds of seeds you can give away, give to the seed library, or save them for the next year because they're viable for a while. Now, every part of a kohlrabi is edible. If you are growing them, you can break off some of the leaves because the leaves, the stems, will literally come out, not just from the top, but from the sides. A few of them will come out. Just break those off. And you can chop them up and put them in your salads, the stem and the leaf. If you wait till they get older, all you have to do is cut them off, and then I cook them like you would collard greens. You know, saute them in some butter, some onions, and whatever else you want to put in there. Now, when you go to peel it, a kohlrabi is either purple or it's kind of a greenish white. They call them whites, but they have that kind of greenish white. But inside, both of them are this creamy, white, delicious kohlrabi. So I peel them, and then there's kind of a fibrous layer, and I take that off too. And then most of the time, I just cut them like they look like French fries. And then I'll dip them in salad dressing or yogurt, or sometimes I'll grate them and put them in coleslaw or my salads. And there are even people, because they're so nutritious for you, that will grate them up and put them in pancake batter. So that is an interesting thing. Now, when you pick a kohlrabi out of your garden, it will last in your refrigerator for probably a month. That's why I don't have any fresh ones to show you. And I always like to put a damp towel around it, put it in the crisper, and it lasts a long time then. But they taste so good when you throw them in the freezer too. And they're a great addition to soups and salad, or soups and stews in the wintertime. Now, to define what they taste like, because Kohl in German means cabbage and Rabi means turnip, and you would think that it would taste like a cabbage turnip, but it doesn't taste like a cabbage turnip. To me, I think the flavor is more like young broccoli sprouts combined with cucumbers, and it is a great flavor. In fact, if you pick some of them that they're really little, maybe 2 inches across, peel them, you can literally eat them like an apple, and they will be as juicy as an apple. So they are tasty, and I think you should try them. Now, there are people that will slice them up. They'll sprinkle some salt and lemon on them. Some people pickle them. For the most part, I like eating them raw. I just think they're such a tasty vegetable. They're sweet, they're mild, they're juicy. They, though they're in the mustard family, they're in the species that is the same as cabbages and broccolis and kale and Brussels sprouts. So that's interesting that they're like that. I'm going to show you different pictures, just so you have an idea of what they look like. But a kohlrabi can be as small as 2 inches across and say 12 inches tall, because they're not a root vegetable, even though a lot of people think they are, but they're really just sitting on the ground, and that taproot is what's going into the soil. But they're just so versatile, and they're sitting on the ground, and from the ground level, it could be maybe, for a small one, maybe 12 inches tall. But if you want to grow those great whites, they can be like 24 inches tall. That counting the stems, not the. Sometimes when I do those great whites, they'll be 6 inches, 8 inches, 10 inches, the actual kohlrabi. And then they have the leaves above it. They're fantastic. Now, they are a cool season crop. So my frost date is May 20th. I can put them out a month before, and they'll survive the cold. I'll cover them up at night, or if it's snowing, I'll cover them with, a row cover. But a month before. So in February, I'm actually going to start growing them. And I will show you when I start planting my seeds in my whole setup. I set up this thing in my hallway with the lights. And I'll just keep you updated as they start to germinate. They're coming up through the soil, things like that, all the way till when we're planting them and growing them next spring. So this year, when you're ordering your seeds, consider ordering a kohlrabi. It's different, it's unusual, and because it's really a 2-season crop. I'm planting them in April. They take 45 to 60 days to mature before you start taking them off. And it's still cool then. And then I can plant them in the late summer and harvest them again into September, into October. So if you try them this spring and you like them, then you can grow them again in the fall. And that's really an interesting crop. So this is Sandy at Apple Cottage. Always subscribe, like, share with the world, press the little bell so you get notifications. And I truly appreciate it when you share them on like Facebook and Instagram and tell people to come on over. And because I'm meeting people that I didn't know before. And I have to honestly tell you, I have met people from around the world now, and that is truly exciting. So this is Sandy at Apple Cottage, and I will see you next Tuesday for Garden Eat Together. I have a couple little videos that I'm going to put up in the next couple days just for fun, some fun ideas. So thanks again.